Alright, so next question, still under computation and money. Something to keep in mind is when you're trying these questions, try one at a time, check the answers, and then try the next one. So it don't make sense trying all three at the same time sometimes, because if you're making the same mistake all the time, when you see the first one, go back and fix it, or wait until you see the answers for the first one and then try the second set. Right? But it don't make sense just looking at the answers only. So let's look at this one, our next fractions question, because fractions is very popular for that very first question on the paper. It won't always be there, but more than likely that's the question that tends to come. So just like before, once you see a fraction with top and bottom, treat the top and the bottom separate. So we're going to do it two ways like before. We're going to work out the top separately, and then we're going to use the calculator and see how much easier it is with the calculator. So working out the top separately, again, we're not going to use any improper fractions. We change the term mixed number. 4 2 is 8 at 1, so that's 9 over 4 minus 1 5 is 5 at 3, 8 over 5. Are the bottom numbers the same? No, so we need to make them the same by finding the LCM. The easiest way to find the LCM, 5 by 4, 20. Now my goal is to change this to 20, so I multiply it by 5. Whatever you do the bottom, you do the top. 5 4 is 20, 9 5 is 45, or I say 9 by 5 and get 45. Same thing on this side. What I need to multiply this by to get 20, 5 by 4 is 20, we know that already, we have the 20 here, so I need to multiply the top by the same number, 8 4 is 32, or I could say 8 by 4 and get 32. So 45 minus 32, 13 out of 20, and so far I have 1 out of the 2 marks, that's 1 mark there. So the top work out to 13 out of 20, and I want to divide it by 3. Right, so I put the top that I work out on top slash 3. We don't divide fractions though. This line means divide with this piece on top. We flip and multiply. So the top piece stays the same. We change it to a multiplication sign, and the bottom has to flip. But what number do we really have on the bottom? So each whole number we could write as a fraction by putting it over 1. So the number on the bottom is really 3 over 1. So when I flip it, I'm going to get 1 over 3. And then when you're multiplying, multiplication is the easiest. No LCM. LCM is only an addition and subtraction thing. Top by top, 13 by 1 is 13. Bottom by bottom, 20 by 3, 60. And that's my answer for my second mark. So again, those are where my 2 marks going to come out from. Let me do it with the calculator and see how much easier it might be with the calculator. So again, be careful. Treat the top separately, treat the bottom separately. So let me go. How it works on the calculator again. Sorry, I'm trying to get the question into focus there as well. Alright, let me see how it's working on the calculator then, right? So 2 1/4 will be 2 fraction button, 1 fraction button 1/4. That's how we're going to write 2 1/4. Sorry, that's how we're going to write 2 1/4. Minus 1 3/5, so be 1 fraction button, 3 fraction button, 5. And we already know what answer we're going to get when we say 2 1/4, take away 1 3/5. It should be 13 R20, which really means 13 over 20. 13 over 20. And all I'm going to do now is divide that by 3. Because we get 13 over 20, I divide it by 3. 13 over 60. But again, treat the top separately and then do the bottom. Okay, so we get the 13 over 60. Next one, they want me to use my calculator fully again. So they have 2.1 sine 75, 2 decimal places. So this is where the approximation part coming in. So I'm going to put that in my calculator. 2.14. Find my sine button. We did trigonometry already. Sine 75. Press equal. So the exact answer is this big long thing. I'm just going to write it out, but you won't write it out. 0.06708128. I would just look at my calculator and say I want to round this off to 2 decimal places. And you can understand why they're rounding off. Why I'm going to write all of this for? That wasting time. I want to shorten this answer to 2 decimal places. So I only want 2 numbers after the point. That's what 2 decimal places mean. And I could do that on my calculator by just looking at it. I don't need to write it out. So here will be the cutoff point. I look at the next number. Is it 5 or more? Yes. Once the number is 5 or more, this next number here increases by 1. So it goes from 06 to 07. And that's it. And because of that, that's why it's only 1 mark, by the way, right? So again, fractions. And next fraction, again, I'm going to do the long way just like before. and then we're going to use the calculator. So again, be careful when you have mixed signs in a question or top and bottom. We're going to separate it into pieces. Multiplication comes in front of addition. Addition and subtraction is always done last. So again, let me work this out. 5 4 is 20 at 1. 21 over 5 times a third. Anything could cancel there with multiplication. We could either multiply top by top or see if anything could cancel going this way. 3 and 21 have 7 in common. So this is really 7 over 5 times 1 over 1. 7 by 1, 7. 5 by 1, 5. So that's what that part will go to. And now we're going to minus 1 and a quarter. I'm going to change that one time. 1 4 is 4 and 1 5 over 4. Addition and subtraction. We're not going to say the 5 is going to cancel it. Addition and subtraction means LCM, which again is 20. To change this to 20, I multiply by 4 on both sides. So this is really 28 over 20. And then I multiply by 5 on this side. 5 5s. 5 4s are 20. 5 5s are 25. So my answer is 3 over 20 for my 2 marks. Calculator time. Let's do this on the calculator. So on the calculator, let me make sure everything fits. So it was 4 and 1/5. So 4 fraction button 1 fraction button 5. That's 4 and 1/5 times 1 fraction button 3. And that's equal to 1 and 2/5. Because they changed 7 over 5 from a improper fraction to a mixed number. And now we're going to minus 1 and a quarter. 1 fraction button 1 fraction button 4. That's what 1 and a quarter going to look like. 3 over 20. So those study that sometimes. You see how we get 1 and 2/5. We leaving it as improper fractions, but the calculator changes it back to a mixed number for us. So that's how I get 5 into 7 1 and 5 add 2 7 over 5. So those study about those things. If you're more comfortable with the calculator, start using the calculator instead of doing those working. And you can see the calculator shorter as well. But you have to have a calculator one and know how to do it. And again, is this fraction button here. Next one, again, we have a next fraction, but dealing with decimals this time. 4.1, sorry, I know the right now small, minus 1.25 squared. So again, because it's a fraction, treat the top separate. Don't do this in one step. Treat the top separate, put the answer on top. And then we'll deal with the bottom if it had something to work out or whatever. Deal with that after. So we'll deal with the divide by 0.05 after. So again, in my calculator doing all this for me. 4.1 minus 1.25, and I have a squared button built into my calculator. That's the top part there. That's what I have. I press equal. So for the top now, I get in 2.5375, which now I can divide by 0.05. So dividing it by 0.005, and that's my answer, 507.5. Again, they're just checking that you could use your calculator. This would be 1 mark as well. Some of the question, the numbers get cut out when I try to squeeze it in. Alright, come on, let me finish up this one. So a stadium has a current seating capacity of 15,400 seats. Calculate the number of people in the stadium when it's 75% full, right? 75% occupied. So we already know percent means that percent symbol. That means out of 100. So once you see something with a percent sign, that means 75, and I put it out of 100. And I want to find 75 out of 100 off, because it's not full. 15,400, zeros cancel off. I multiply this out in my calculator. So when it's 75% full, it will have 11,550 seats, so people occupied. They want to build a new stadium and make it bigger. So the new seats going to be 20,790 seats. And they want to know what's the percentage increase. And this would be something similar we do in the SPA. We had a percentage increase in the price. So let me see how much more seats we get. So we're going to make 20,790 seats, but before we had 15,400. So how much new seats we're going to get? Let me minus those two. So when I minus 0, take away 0.9. You could use your calculator as well. You'll get 53.90. So that's how much seats extra we get. But we want these seats extra as a percentage. So you always take the amount over the original, which is 15,400, because that's what we increase in. We increase in this amount of seats. This is the original. And to change something to a percentage, we do the reverse. We multiply by 100 over 1. Again, some zeros go cancel. You multiply it out. And when I multiply this out, I'll get 35. But remember, I want the answer as a percent. That's why we multiply by 100. We're going to get 35%, right? But you have to read and understand what these questions are asking for. This one, again, a little tricky. A neon light flashes 5 times every 10 seconds. Show that the light flashes 43,200 times in a day. So I like these questions because they tell you the answer. You just have to come up with the answer. So if I do get that answer, well, I know I'm wrong. The problem with this is if you're wrong, you could spend too much time on the question and you don't want to spend too much time on one question. So let me go. Let me see what they have. Every 10 seconds, this light going to flash 5 times. And we want to go to a day. So let me go from seconds to minutes to hours to day. Because that's what we have to do, right? Find out how much in a day. So in 10 seconds, how much seconds in a minute? So we have 1 minute. Because again, we want to build up to the day. Is 60 seconds. Everybody should know that by now. And this is what I want you to see. We want to jump from 10 to 60. What I need to multiply by 10 to reach 60. So 10 by 6 is going to give me 60. But whatever you do on one side, because I have to do that same thing on the next. So 10 is 5. 20 seconds, going to be 5 by 2, 10. 30 seconds, 5 by 3, 15. 40, 50, 60. So by the time we reach 1 minute, which is 60 seconds, we multiply by 6. So in 60 seconds or 1 minute, this light going to flash 30 times. Or 6 times as much. Again, we're building up to a day. So how about 1 hour? How much minutes in an hour? Because we just find out 1 minute is 30 times. So 1 hour would be 60 minutes. And again, they're just checking to know if you know all these basic things. So if 1 hour is 60 minutes, and in 1 minute we have 30 times, and in 60 minutes we're going to have 2 minutes will be 2 by 30, 3 minutes 3 by 30, 60 minutes will be 60 by 30, 1800 times in 1 hour this light going to flash. And now we want for a day. How much hours in a day? So we have 24 hours in a day. So if in 1 hour is 1800 times, in 1 day, which is 24 hours, 1 hour is 1800, 2 hours will be 2 by 1800, 24 hours will be 24 by 1800. And when I multiply 24 by 1800, that's how we get the 43,200 times. Right? So when Ms. Deoki Singh doing her vids, she would try some other questions. So you'll get a little more practice with it and not just these same questions you're going to see back as well. Alright, so up next, the algebra.